Mobile sports betting is a new phenomenon. Should bettors be allowed to cross state lines to place a mobile sports bet? The revenue that states earn from mobile bettors is earmarked for certain areas. For example, New York State gets 51% of the revenue, and that is required to go to elementary and secondary education, grants for sports youth programs, property tax relief, and gambling addiction treatment and recovery. This is money that states like Delaware, who has no legalized gambling in their state, loses to New York. Origins of the bets are geo-tracked and declined if placed outside of state boundaries. According to the state of Michigan, when they went legal in 2021 of March, 2 days before the world shut down. When the opening of Google Store for mobile gambling apps in countries like the United States, Australia, Canada, and Germany, many more doors are opening for the mobile gaming industry, allowing companies like Real Luck, who offer esports and other gaming platforms, they can get apps out to more customers. And it also gives more opportunities to companies like Zynga for their gaming apps. Is there a way to control where a sports bet is placed? By placing restrictions on the use of mobile sports apps, the companies can control where a bet is placed and control the odds on the bets placed. Washington, D.C. will let you place bets on Caesars Sportsbook on your phone, but only in the Capital One Arena. If you walk more than 350 feet away from the arena, the bets are not possible. If a bettor finds a way to bypass this app, GameBet DC offers worse odds for the bettor and takes more of the winnings. A state that offers all that a bettor wants in mobile gambling, that state is Virginia. Virginia is a virtual sports gaming paradise. Anywhere in Virginia can be your sports betting haven. Work, home, or even the park. While they offer bets on all major sports, you can even bet on things like Finnish hockey, Israeli basketball, darts, or even cricket. You can bet on different outcomes, like who will win the coin toss. At one point, there were 90,000 items you could bet on different sports. And you can bet on whether there will be more sidekicks in soccer, or if a basket will be worth 2 or 3 points while the game is being played. Mobile betting has increased in popularity. When COVID-19 lockdown hit, the gaming industry took a hit, making little to no profits. But as the world began to open and sports were being played again, mobile betting was the only option. The sportsbook apps have made deals with the NFL and Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NHL. They have partnered with the gaming casinos in Vegas and other gambling cities in the US. They have signed on with media like CBS, ESPN, Hulu, Turner Sports, and Disney. Some celebrities have gotten in on the action too, like Michael Jordan and the Manning family. Mobile betting is now the preferred option when it comes to betting for most sports gamblers. Since its legalization in 2018, it has risen 84% and made over $6 billion. Whereas the retail betting went from 100% in 2018 to almost nothing in 2020, and now is 16% of sports gamblers nationwide. Goldman Sachs predicts that mobile gambling will make $39 billion by 2033. With mobile gambling legal in 19 states, not all of them help the addicted. The 6 states that help with gambling addiction are Indiana, New York, Michigan, New Hampshire, Nevada, and Virginia. And they have set apart part of their revenue for their mobile sports apps for helping those who are addicted to gambling. South Dakota, Louisiana, Maryland don't even show anywhere where their revenue goes to. And while the gaming apps are doing something to help curb the addicts, they're not doing enough. They have set up tutorials on how to help set up waging limits or set a cooldown time. And they have links to gambling help. DraftKings have flags set up to warn them of potential users and issues with customers. And each app has all addressed each state with tips on how to regulate the gambling, especially with better rules coming and being put in place. The US is looking to countries in Europe and Australia to see how they have handled the addicts, and they want to jump on top of this and take control before the US government jumps in. And the US is kind of like a teenager given free rein to do what it wants with this newfound freedom in sports betting, and they have not figured out how to help the addicts deal with their consequences. I think there should be better regulation on the people using sports gaming apps in the US. And they should have higher consequences for those who abuse the opportunity of sports gambling. I personally do not agree with gambling at all, but this topic just fascinated me. I've never done any type of gambling higher than nickel slots in Vegas. I know you need to be on site at an actual gaming site to register with the gaming apps, but some states will let you bet anywhere in that state once you've registered. And I think there should be a fine or a way of shutting the bet down the bet if they knew that the person placing the bet was not a resident of the state or had just crossed lines to place their bet, or somehow the app can take a bigger payout. The sports books do have in place a way of checking the legal age of all their customers, but even that can be passed with someone betting by proxy. I think there should be a way of stopping or shutting down the app when the sports book sees a potential habitual gambler that could eventually become an addict. I know they have measures on some of the apps to stop a bet if the app flags it for potential problems. And I know that sportsbooks makes a great deal of money off of the bettors, and the states get anywhere from 6.7% to 51% in revenue. And that is money that is helping the states in many programs. So I agree with that part, but it just needs to be monitored more and for the mental player's health. So sportsbooks apps allow the state to control where and when the sports bets are placed. They can control the odds placed on a bet from where in the state it is placed also. Virginia has made it possible to bet anywhere and at any time, even while a game is being played. Since the legalization in 2018, mobile sports betting has become more popular than going into a gambling hall. And now 19 states have legalized sports betting throughout. Not enough is being done to help those who become addicted to the sports on mobile betting apps, so they need to work on that. And I believe that apps should regulate their customers and make sure that their apps are not being abused. Does anyone have any questions?